Loss comes in many forms, and writing about it may help you to work through it towards a better understanding and perhaps to ease some of your pain. In this video, I will share some tips on writing about loss relating to jobs, pets, and relationship, or loss of oneself through illness or depression. Let's begin with job loss. This could have come in the form of a layoff, a firing, a non-renewed contract, but nevertheless, it can be emotionally devastating. You may go through a period of mourning. Dig deep here to draw out all the emotions attached to this period of your life. Explain how your job loss affected you and all those around you. For example, your family and friends and co-workers and anyone else who depended on you. Explain the many effects the loss of the job had on your time, your health, your social life, your education, and generally your place in the world. Tell your readers what you learned about your tremendous strength and your human weaknesses as well through this experience, and how it may have redefined your self-image. You know what I'm like about encouraging you to include the details of the day-to-day stuff in your story. Well, once you began a new job, write a comparison of how your daily routine would have changed, even if you retired from work per se, where your new job may include taking care of your health, or the garden, or sorting out family photographs. Remember to describe your emotions and all your senses throughout the period of job loss. And now let's talk about the loss of a beloved pet. This can be a devastating episode in our lifetime. We feel lonely, we feel so sad. We gaze around at all the empty spaces that are no longer filled with their large presence. And we're sometimes riddled with guilt that we could have done something more to save them. There are wonderful ways to commemorate your pet with words. You could create an acrostic poem where you vertically write down the letters of their name, and then you expand and add a last sentence. For example, if your pet's name was Mac, made a bed out of anything, attacked sunbeams in the late afternoon, caused us all to fall in love. We miss you, Mac. You can research the Rainbow Bridge, the idea that this beautiful sunny place exists where it's thought that our animals wait for us. This philosophy can lead to some lovely writing about loss and reunion. Introduce an object, for example, a Christmas ornament or a framed photograph, describing how the object signifies the life of your pet, a life that shines on forever in your heart. And now, the loss of a relationship. This is without doubt a difficult period for anyone, as you relive the quagmire of emotions related to a divorce or separation of any kind. Talk about the build-up to the separation and why you may have held on for a while. Record the things you miss about the person and then things you don't miss. Quote songs or any other written work that spoke to you during this difficult period. Describe what you are now building from the debris of the shipwreck that was once your breakup. As you move forward, elaborate on how you are now coping with the times that you would have usually been together, like Valentine's Day and anniversaries and so on. Include a thank you poem to your ex-spouse for things you were grateful for. For example, for loving you to the best of their ability, for building you a home, for giving you a child, and so on. Express where you focused your love after the breakup. Relationship loss can leave deep emotional scars, and if the subject is handled with brutal honesty in your story, it can reveal much about your personality and what normally is the bottom line, your enormous capacity for love. And finally, the loss of self through illness or depression. These are losses in the worst possible way. As you talk about this period of your life, let your writing style and your carefully chosen words, let them reflect this experience. Words like lonely, doomed, oppressed. What you don't say when you describe your depression, or as I like to put it, when you live between the lines of life, is just as important as what you do say. Painters are taught early on the value of negative space. Musicians are taught about rests and silence. And writers know that what you don't say can be equally as important as what you do say. Your thoughts may be fragmented and your voice may trail off. There may be huge gaps in your thoughts. You can also make use of similes in this writing. Lonely as a cloud, mournful as a grave, numb as stone. Introduce tiredness and how day and night seem the same. Who or what did you turn to for support? A trusted friend? A therapist? A medication? An addiction? Try to end any adverse stories with a line of gained knowledge, humble acceptance, or at least a hint of hope. Loss is unique for every person, whether it be loss of your job, your pet, a relationship, or of yourself. You may have lived through only one of these events, or you may have experienced them all. Take your readers with you through these stories, for although the exercise may benefit you, it may profoundly affect and help others as well. A friend of mine, she was a friend of a friend. She came up to me once and told me several years after the fact that when she read the story of my mother's suicide, she was going down the same road and it had saved her life. As you consider what we have covered in this video, write about all of your experiences with loss. And as you explore your vast capacity for love, cover topics like the loss of a job, loss of a pet, a relationship, or yourself. You may never know how your stories, especially stories of loss, can affect or change, or sometimes even save a life.